Welcome to the Haunted Beard, everybody. My name is Jake. Thank you for joining me. I've been making my way through the Alien franchise, and today I have reached Aliens vs. Predator Requiem. And if you've been following along and saw my review of Alien vs. Predator, you know that I called that movie bland and forgettable. And AVP Requiem suffers from a lot of the same issues and problems that I had with the previous film. This is another one that is pretty forgettable. A lot of just mindless action violence with paper-thin characters, and in the end is another pretty forgettable movie. And Requiem starts off right where Alien vs. Predator ended, as we are back aboard the spaceship where the alien-predator hybrid creature busted out of the dead Predator, and the spaceship crash lands in the Colorado wilderness, and it leads to another all-out war between, of course, Alien and Predator. And you got a bunch of local townspeople this time who get mixed up right in the middle of this whole thing. And like I said, a lot of the same criticisms that I applied to the previous film can definitely be applied to this film, although I will say there are a couple things about this one that I think are a slight improvement. I would still by no means call this movie good. However, when compared to the previous film, I do think there are a couple things that are a little bit better. When it comes to the characters, these are not good characters, but they are a slight improvement, I think, over the previous ones. And I think what helps, again, ever so slightly, is that you have a little bit of a family element in the relationship between the characters. There's, friendships and family and stuff like that there. So it helps a little bit in terms of, dare I say, emotional investment. It's by no means a movie you're emotionally invested in, but again, just comparing it to the previous film, the characters here, I think are a little bit better, and it brings a little more kind of dramatic weight to it just because of that sort of family bond and relationship between the characters. Also, the R rating helps, whereas the previous film, the PG-13, makes everything terrible. Here, yeah, you still do get a handful of pretty bad kills, lots of quick editing, fast cuts, shaky cam, and stuff like that, but you actually do get a couple decent kills that I dare say enjoyed. I thought the scene where the alien breaks into the hospital and goes to the nursing ward and is there by all the newborn babies, and then he goes into the actual delivery room, and you get the alien essentially impregnating these pregnant women with more alien creatures, and then you get kind of the chest buster scene with the pregnant lady and all the aliens are in her stomach. It's a pretty gnarly little scene. It's probably the most memorable moment in the entire movie, and maybe the one scene that, dare I would say, is actually good in terms of kind of memorable kills sort of thing. So that's not a bad scene. There's the other kill that occurs towards the end of the movie where the young girl that the one brother kind of has a crush on and is interested in, she ends up getting pinned to the wall when the Predator throws his little throwing star, and it kind of just happens really sudden and out of nowhere. And so, okay, that was a decent little kill. And then I will give the movie a little bit of credit too, as it leads up to this point to where our main cast of characters are kind of forced to make a decision, and they end up separating. And so you have a couple characters go one way because they think that's going to lead to safety, and then the other characters go another way as they think that's going to lead to safety. And so it actually kind of creates a little bit of tension, a little bit of kind of intrigue. You're like, oh, I kind of wonder how this is going to play out and what's going to happen. And so it kind of makes things a little interesting and adds a little something there. And so I thought that was actually a decent little part of how the story unfolds. So other than that, though, there's not really anything else I can say about this that is positive. Again, I kind of feel like I'm beating a dead horse at this point. It's very generic, a lot of mindless action, very unmemorable, very bland. There's a point about, I don't know, halfway through the movie where the power goes out in the entire town. And what I said about the previous film is that it is like a gray movie. I said it looked like you're looking at a dark, cloudy, overcast sky for 90 minutes. This one looks like you are watching a blackout for 90 minutes, as so much of this movie is so dark and so dimly lit that it is very difficult to make things out. And so I really think they went overboard with that in a handful of sequences to where you're kind of sitting there like, I can't see what's going on. So yeah, nothing really positive I can say about the visuals here. Although before that happens, at least this movie has some colors to it. So it's not just a complete, you know, depressingly bored and gray and gloomy like the previous one. But like I said, that second half is kind of difficult to see. So much of this is mindless action violence. There's nothing about it that's really memorable. Half of it, you can't even see what's going on. It's all edited and filmed so shaky and quick cut. And it's also one note. It's very loud. It's very much in your face. There's no craft to it. It's not interested in tension building. It's not interested in suspense. It's just interested in being loud and in your face and kind of as, you know, obnoxious and obvious as possible sort of thing. And that's really all there is to say about it. So look, this is probably going to be a shorter review, but it's like, I don't know what else to say about it. You know, it's just very generic, very forgettable. I mean, what else is there to say? I'm not going to spend any more time talking about it because I don't really want to, and I don't feel like there's anything else worth talking about, which is kind of what I said about the previous movie. But yeah, both of these are just pretty bad and pretty forgettable. And I don't ever plan on watching them ever again. And so, yeah, I want to be done talking about them. Let's move on to the next movie. And up next is Prometheus. And I'm very excited because I'm a big fan of Prometheus and I haven't seen it it's been a little while, so I'm very excited to return to it and see how well it holds up and if my thoughts on it have changed or anything like that. But look, for AVP Requiem, I'm going to be, I don't know, 3.5 out of 10. Yeah, it's not good. But next up, I'm excited because it's Prometheus. And yeah, so anyways, that's all I got for you. Thank you so much for watching. If you got anything out of this video, go ahead and do me a favor and do not click that subscribe button unless you want to be haunted by the beard.